Casey's Corner, introducing you to small businesses in the East Valley. Brought to you by Prosperity North Advisors, a Kendall insurance agency, protecting your prosperity. Hello everyone, Casey Kendall, Prosperity North Advisors, Kendall Insurance Agency, protecting your prosperity. Joining me today on Casey's Corner is Kristen Jones from Gateway Restoration. Kristen, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me today, Casey. I'm excited to be here. So
Kristen, tell us a little bit about Gateway, what your role is within the company, and how you service your clients.
Sure. So with Gateway Restoration, my title is Professional Relationships Officer as well as our Sales and Marketing Manager. And so what I have the opportunity to do is connect with professionals such as yourself that may have a client that has experienced a damage. And then what Gateway Restoration is, we are in the restoration industry, and our mission is to consistently provide compassionate, ethical, and immediate aid to people who have experienced unexpected damage to their home or office caused by water, fire, storm, or accident.
Yeah, that can be a pretty stressful time when an accident like that or a disaster occurs. So what separates you? I know that the restoration industry might get a little bit of a bad rap. Tell us a little bit about your process. I know that you've got some proprietary processes. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. So Gateway Restoration, we have what's called a heck of a guarantee, which is honest, effective, and consistent communication. And we believe that should be done with transparency. That way you have a full picture as well as education of what is going on at your home or office and then how you can get back to whole. So with that, the transparency piece, we have what's called a job link. So that allows us to give you a digital 24-hour access link that documents everything internal as well as external, so all communication, as well as before, during, and after pictures. That's going to allow you to basically document everything that has happened of what caused that loss, whether that was fire, storm, accident, water. It documents everything, because trying to remember every little detail in a disaster you didn't plan for can be difficult.
So that essentially means you are managing the process all the way through in total and complete communication, whether you have to bring in a sub or somebody that can work on the house to either mitigate that right away or along the process.
Correct. So we are a full-stop shop, so we can handle the emergency portion of mitigation and remediation all the way through to the reconstruction side. And so there's a lot of details that go into that, but our team specializes in the communication and making sure you know where you're at, what's to happen, and your time frames along to go with that. Something that we've utilized to kind of lessen the gap of the communication between customer, agent, and then our licensed, bonded, and insured company is a Matterport scan. So that allows us to, it's basically a tour of your home, a digital tour. Yes. So for example, I'll share a video with you of a fire that we had. It was an electrical fire with an electrical vehicle that started in the garage.
Oh my gosh.
But it affected the entire home. So we were able to then take the Matterport scan. It's a 2-story home, and that scanned every 360-inch of that home. So now you are able to, by clicking, almost as if you're on Google Maps, and you're able to tour that home. It's also a measuring tool. So it documents everything that happened from the point of disaster all the way through to what needs to now happen to get you put back.
I know that would help with estimating and managing the project and really giving the client a comparison of where they've come from and where they're at now.
Correct.
And with a fire, that not only affects the burned area, but that can affect the entire house, correct?
It can, because when the fire department goes in there, they're typically going to be busting walls or busting holes in the wall to make sure that fire is not traveling. So you have water damage, you have fire damage, and you have smoke damage when it comes to a fire loss.
Yeah, and that smoke can affect almost everything, including clothes and toys and just every aspect of your life. Talk to us about, I know you guys just won an award. What'd you win?
So we have been nominated for the award.
Okay.
We find out if we're we find out here shortly in the next month or so if we have been selected as a finalist. But we were the first restoration company in the state of Arizona to not be nominated once, but 2 years in a row for the Better Business Bureau Ethics Torch Award, which is an extreme honor. So hopefully that comes to fruition.
Kristen, we talked about what happens or when disaster sets in and how you can handle that and how you handle that. But for the homeowner that might experience that, what are some tips that you can give them that would either, one, mitigate the loss or really try to control the situation really even before you get there?
Right. So something I would highly recommend for each of you to do, literally do it today if you can, is document the things that are in your home, the assets that you have. Even if you go around with video footage and document those items, because when disaster happens and something gets damaged, it's really hard to kind of think back of what was in that drawer specifically, what was in that cabinet, and if it's damaged, it's damaged. So going through and making a list of your assets that you have, making sure that if you have items that are of specific value, that your agent is aware of that and is insuring them properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But when it comes to a damage actually happening, the best thing you can do is stop the source of the damage. So if that's being caused by water, you want to shut off the water to the house. If you're not familiar with where your shut-off valves are under your sink or behind your toilet, or where your main is shut off, those are some things you may want to familiarize yourself with.
Yeah.
And
when in doubt, run to the street and shut it off there.
Yes, and when you do shut off the main to your house, it's typically going to be located to the left or the right of the garage, and it's typically towards the front of the house. I'll share an image with you of that as well, but when you turn that completely off, you actually want to bring it back a little bit, because if you leave it completely off, and then when you go to turn it on, that can affect your pipes and actually cause damage itself.
Wow.
So you want to do a little bit of a turn back once you do that.
Good tip. What else?
So next would be to, again, document those personal items. So if you've already created that list, it makes it so much easier on you. Then you're going to want to get in contact with your agent. And this is where you want to stay calm. You don't want to use words such as flood or mold that could actually lessen or create risk when it comes to that claim, because if it wasn't a sudden loss, if it was something that was neglect, that can then affect the policy coverage or the policy limits. So you want to notify your agent of what's going on, and then you want to get a licensed, bonded, and insured restoration company to come out and take a look at what's going on. You always want to work with somebody that's licensed, bonded, and insured, because they've taken the time to not only protect the staff that they have on site, but to protect your home and your future as well.
Liability is a heck of a thing. We are in the summertime. It's hot, which also means out here in Arizona, where there's potential for monsoons. We haven't had one yet, but talk to us about monsoons and what a homeowner can do to, well, obviously we can't prevent them, but there's certain steps that we can take to mitigate losses during a monsoon.
Absolutely. So this is where I would recommend that if you haven't had a roof inspection done since last monsoon season, I would encourage you to get in contact with a roofing company and have them do an inspection of your roof. Because what we want to make sure is that if you do have something that should have been maintained, should have been repaired already, that you're aware of it going into it, because otherwise you could end up with some pretty severe interior damage to your home. You also want to make sure that if you have gutters, that those are cleared out and that the drains themselves are not being blocked by anything. Again, I would recommend that on every other month, to be safe, is checking under your sinks and your plumbing. So behind your toilet and under your sinks, checking for any active leaks that are going on, and again, getting in contact with a licensed, bonded, and insured specialist in that trade.
Yeah, those are really good tips. Kristen, you gave me this, and this is called the household lifespan. Talk to me about this. I really like this, and it actually gives a home maintenance and inspection schedule.
It does.
So talk to us about this.
Sure. So the home lifespan piece, this is going to show you specifically the items in your home as well as exterior of your home. So for example, your water heater, your roof, and your appliances. And what could it lead to water and fire damage if not properly maintained? And then the actual suggested maintenance of that on the back, whether that be monthly, every other month, annual, or seasonally. So for example, in the springtime, you should be checking your air filters as well as having an HVAC inspection done on not only your heating, but your cooling, to make sure that your unit's running properly. When not maintained, these things can lead to damage within your home. So if you do not have a maintenance plan set up with the specific trades companies, feel free to reach out to us. We have vetted contacts that we can get you in touch with.
Very much like your own health, a house should have preventative maintenance being done. Kristen, what's the best way that someone can get a hold of you, your contact information?
Sure. So if you do experience an emergency, the best thing you can do is call our main line. That is monitored 24/7 by an actual Gateway staff member, not an answering service, and that is 480-338-2331. You can check us out online at gatewayrestoration.com or gwraz.com. And if you'd like to get in contact with me, feel free to give our main office a call and I'd be happy to connect with you.
Kristen, thank you very much. I can tell you that as an insurance guy, I've dealt with a lot of restoration companies and some, but Gateway, they're on it. Kristen, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for
really
having
appreciate
me.
you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to be featured on Casey's Corner, please like, subscribe, share this video. Thanks very much. Have a great day.